Welcome to Unlocking Your Truth, another podcast by Dr. Leslie Phillips.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. My name is Dr. Leslie Phillips and I'm your host for the next hour on Unlocking Your Truth. And of course this is a talk show and we talk about metaphysics and spirituality for the whole hour, starting with the topic of the week, which today is going to be yeah, the aura. I got my favourite question, one of my favourite questions this week. Somebody wrote in and said, what colour is my aura? And so I thought it was time that we bust a few myths about the aura. So
mine's green with polka dots, yellow polka dots.
Is that right? Ooh, that's a bit queasy looking. Yeah. Anyway, so, and then if you're tuning in for the first time, the show topic for about the first 20 minutes, and then we switch to answering your questions. All right, so let's start with, well, this lady said, what colour is my aura? And there's a myth out there that your aura is one particular colour. And there's a related myth that says once you know what colour your aura is, you know what colour your aura is, and it's just one colour for the whole of your life. And neither of those things are true. Neither of those things are true. So your energy field is a dynamic system. It's always in flux. It's constantly changing. And it isn't one colour. It's many colours. It's a coat of many colours.
Why are you looking at me and laughing?
I don't know. So what is an aura? Let's answer the question, what is an aura? It's an electromagnetic energy field that surrounds your physical body. Everything on this planet is made of electromagnetic energy, and everything emanates an auric field or an energy field around it. So you have an aura, your pets have an aura, all animals have an aura, all plants have an aura, and even rocks and inanimate objects. Everything is energy, and everything emanates an energy field around it.
Even our station manager?
Yeah.
Aaron,
yeah.
He has an aura?
He has one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. I think I read it for him once. Yes, anyway, you've knocked me off my thing there, Corey, now.
Okay. Actually, the crosswords, when I do my crosswords, it says an aura is a heavenly body.
Does it?
Yeah.
Well, some people might think of it as your spiritual body. I mean, it's just it's an energy body. It's made of energy. And what does it look like? Well, it can be seen by somebody who is a trained clairvoyant like I am as colours. And it actually is, like I said, many different colours, layers of interpenetrating energy. And not to get too complicated too quickly, your energy field actually emanates from these things called chakras. And, you know, some of you listeners probably know what they are, and some of you might not do. They are energy channels that channel your higher energy through into the physical form, and the different chakras are responsible for different aspects of your reality, but each of them emanates its own energy field, and your aura is made up of the interpenetrating layers of energy that come from those chakras, and therefore each layer of your energy field relates to a different aspect of you and can be a different color vibration, because in fact what your aura is doing is it's been called the fingerprint of God, and by no accident, and it's also been called the book of you because it literally is the book of you. all the information about you is contained within your energy field. So it is a record of your current emotional state, of your current mental state, and your physical state as well. And it gives information about your beliefs, the concepts about reality that you're operating from. Even stored memories can be seen within your energy field. And sometimes I get another question, actually, which is, okay, how do I know that my aura is healthy? How can I tell if the energy's blocked or if it's unhealthy? And on the one hand, while your aura can be absolutely any color, and any layer of your aura can be any color and is changing all the time, a clue can be, if it's a darker color or a duller color, then that might indicate that there's some kind of disturbance going on, or if it's cloudy. And so sometimes when I'm reading somebody's aura, if I see black or darkness, that can be the vibration of hate. It can also be the vibration of pain. A dirty, dark red vibration can sometimes be anger. And a white vibration can be fear. And so, you can learn to look at the tonality of the colors in the energy field, and that will give you some information about whether you're running your own energy or whether there's a disturbance going on.
Question. Can you see your aura in a mirror? Can you see your own aura in a mirror?
Well, that presupposes that what you're seeing your aura with is your physical eyes, and you are not seeing it with your physical eyes. And it's kind of interesting because there are lots of people out there who teach people a method of seeing the aura by doing a soft focus of the physical eyes. And you can see lights around people if you do that. But it's not exactly the same, I would say, as seeing energy with your third eye or through your sixth chakra.
I think everybody has that. Everybody can see that aura, that I guess it's a silver pale white around people, the energy, just the energetic aura. That's not the aura we're talking about.
I don't know that everybody can see that.
I think so, because it's actually physical, so everybody should be able to see within that spectrum. But that's not the auras that we're talking about on the show today.
Yeah, so if I was teaching you how to read your aura, I wouldn't teach you to use your physical eyes at all. I'd actually tell you to close your eyes in order to do it. Because what we're learning is to see energy with the third eye or with the sixth chakra. So anyone can learn to see their energy field clairvoyantly, or at least tune into the color frequencies that are present in their energy field. And how can they do that? Well, number one is meditation. So learning to meditate, learning to quiet the mind, learning to tune out all of those external physical signals that usually take our attention. And so shift your focus away from the physical world, away from the physical senses, so that you can tune into the more subtle senses in order to tune in to your own energy frequencies. And that's the first step. And then, of course, when you start to be able to see or sense the vibrational frequencies, the next step would be to translate what you're tuning into meaning. Because there are a lot of books out there that will teach you how to read an aura, and they will give you a code that says, well, if you see red, it means this. If you see purple, it means this. If you see green, it means so-and-so. When in actual fact, there are many nuances, and different colors can be being being channeled for different purposes. So, for example, sometimes I might see a light blue, and it's a vibration of healing. Other times I might see a light blue, and it's being used for clarity. It's being used for communication. And so there's not a simple code necessarily for translating the meaning of the colors in the energy field. And so part of it is by tuning into your intuitive faculties, then you know, or you see, or you intuit what that frequency is being used for, what the translation of that frequency is. And it's not coming from the logical mind, and it's not coming from having learned in a book what a particular color means or not.
So what are people looking for when they ask, what color is my aura? What are people actually looking for, do you think? Well, why is it important to actually have a look at your aura?
An aura reading can do a lot of things for you, and like I said, it's the book of you. So it gives you a snapshot in time, right here, right now, about everything that is going on within you on all levels of your reality. And so what an aura reading can do for you is it can give you insight into the different growth and change that's going on in your life. It can give you a perspective on why you're feeling the way that you're feeling, or why certain situations are occurring. And it can also give you the comfort to know where you are in that process. So, for example, if somebody comes to me for an aura reading, I will interpret the 7 main layers of their energy field. Each layer relates to a different aspect of their reality. So, for example, the first layer relates to how you create your life in the physical world. And so things like health, manifestation, survival, what you do for a living are all relevant to that layer of the energy field. The next layer relates to the emotions and sexuality, and so on up through the chakras. It gives you a very thorough understanding of everything that's going on for you, including aspects to do with your relationships, life decisions, reasons why you're experiencing things in a particular way. You can really get a lot of information from somebody's energy field. And also when people are being caught in the past, that shows up in their energy field. When people are operating from self-limiting beliefs, that shows up in their energy field. And so there are many reasons for receiving an aura reading. It's a snapshot of you in time, but it's more than a snapshot of you in time, because it's showing the direction of your growth and the direction of your life and everything that you are going through. And so I think that is a fabulous thing to have done. Now, when people ask the question, what color is my aura? What are they looking for? I don't know. I think people want to know, am I healthy? Am I well? Sometimes am I special? You know, have I got like a special color that labels me as a special person? But I hope that I've explained that the energy field is dynamic, and today there might be a dominant color on a particular layer because you're going through one experience, and tomorrow you might be going through a completely different experience. So let's imagine today you are running a triathlon. And so the first layer of your energy field, which has to do with the physical body, is running a lot of life force energy. It's bright red because you want all of that verve and vim and vigor to run the triathlon. Well, tomorrow when you're resting up because you've sprained your ligament, you might be running a healing blue vibration on the first layer of your energy field. And just bear in mind that there's many layers, and each layer is responding in real time to the growth that you are experiencing in your life. The emotional layer, for example, maybe you're feeling quite peaceful and, I don't know, let's say you're running a nice pink vibration or something, and then somebody comes and scares you or makes you angry or whatever it is that happens. It shifts and changes. And the other thing I would say about it is it's like a window. It's the window through which you look out through it and see the world through it, and other people look in through it and see you through it. And so if your energy field is clean and clear and healthy, then you're able to look out at the world from a relatively, what's the word? I can't think of the word, so I'll just say undisturbed state. But if you're carrying a lot of baggage, a lot of stuff stored up from the past, then you look at the world through that baggage, and the world looks at you through that baggage. So it colors your reality, whatever energy you are walking around with in your energy field.
So in a lot of religions, mostly Christian religions, they talk about halos or angelic halos, or do you think there's a connection there between halos and auras?
Well, there is a connection. So, for example, in Christianity, they will often depict their saints with a golden halo around the head of the saint. In some of the Eastern religions, they will depict the equivalent of their saints with a golden light around the entire body, and that relates to just the different focus of the different religions. So, if we look at maybe the Christian saints being a more focus on not really mentally, but neutrality and the sixth chakra and clear vision, and maybe the others being more heart-centered, and they have a different focus in terms of how they're developing themselves spiritually. But in essence, they're usually golden light, and the gold vibration's a very high vibration. It's a high healing vibration. It's actually the vibration that Christ vibrated at. It's very close to love. It's a really high healing, cleansing, loving vibrational frequency that marks someone as having perhaps a certain level of spiritual involvement. And so people who are saints and so forth, yes, their energy field may be vibrating at a particular frequency, and that's what the depictions of halos have to do with. Anyway, I think that's taken us up to the break, so we'll be taking a break, and after the break we will be taking your calls on 604-504-7441 extension 4142. Once again, 604-504-7441 extension 4142. And the lady who asked what colour is my aura, we've answered your question. We've answered your question in the first part of the show.
Or did we?
Hello everyone, welcome back to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. My name's Dr. Leslie Phillips. What is our first question, Corey?
Well, I found one that I've been meaning to ask, but it kept slipping to the background. I'm sorry about that. And this is for Jenna. And Jenna wants to know, I'm so tired and unhappy and constantly sick and achy. I want to stop working at what I do right now, but can't financially. What do I do? Thank you.
Okay, I'll take a look. give me a moment. And if you're tuning in for the first time, what I do is I go into a trance, a light self-induced trance state, so I can, just what I was talking about earlier, tune out physical reality and tune into physical reality, use my intuitive senses instead of using my physical senses. So bear with me while I do that. And take a look at Jenna and her question. Okay, so let's take a look at you and your question. I'm seeing a bit of a dichotomy going on in terms of your energy. So give me a moment and I'll see what I can see about that. Because on the one hand, I'm seeing this beautiful yellow vibration, which is very joyful. And that's the vibration that you're wanting to run through your body. But at the moment, it's sort of hovering above you, not able to enter in a way because of the other things that you're talking about, which is being dissatisfied or unhappy with the way that your life is going. And so, interestingly enough, so let me just take a look at the body and what's going on in the body. The body looks, I'm going to use the word exhausted. That's not exactly the right word. So if I think of a better word in a minute, I'll say it. But it looks exhausted, or it looks overwrought. It looks like, it's sort of like how you feel when you every day you do something that you don't love. It lacks joy, and there's a word to describe this. Give me a moment. Well, and it just looks like the environment you're in is not really a vibrational, energetic match for where you're wanting to be. And so you're sort of immersing yourself in this environment that, in order to be there, and it's sort of like you're lowering your vibration in order to be there and match the vibrations around you, and it feels really uncomfortable for your body. And it just looks like and I might ask the question, what came first, the chicken or the egg as well? You know, whether it's the work environment that's caused the sick and achy body, or the sick and achy body that's caused you. And it looks like, well, I would just say it's like you're doing what you don't love, and your body is saying, hey, I don't love it either. We don't love this. And it's like the more that you force it to do what you don't love, it's like a vicious circle. And so, you know, and the question is, okay, so let's look at the concept of thinking that you need to stay in the job because of money. And so that thinking says, well, then there's only one job that I can have, and there's only one job that I can get, and that's the only option that's available to me, is this job. And that's not true. I mean, that's absolutely not true. And so, you know, what should I do? I mean, I don't like to tell people what they should do, but one suggestion is, I don't see why you, if you're there anyway, why you can't spend some time looking at, well, what would bring me joy? What would I like to do with my time other than spend it at this job? And start looking for creating some options for yourself. I mean, that's, if I was in your situation, that's perhaps what I would do. And, you know, I guess what's keeping you stuck there is the belief that you don't have any options, is the belief that you are stuck, is the belief that you don't have a choice. This is it. And it's not true. That's not a true belief. So I hope that helps, Jenna. Let's do another one, Corey.
Is that where you're looking at me?
Yeah. Dreaming, looking out the window.
I was just trying to figure out what name I should put this one under, because I'm not sure if this is a male or a female. But I think it's a male. There's a telephone. Let me grab that.
Okay, I'll keep talking about the aura while you go and grab the telephone. So what else can we tell you about the energy field, folks? Well, here's an interesting fact. People automatically adjust the width of their aura depending on whether they're in a crowd or not. So in an elevator, everyone sucks their aura in, and out in nature, they let it go wider. I'm just going to pick up the phone in a minute when it goes, and we will talk to the caller. Hello, caller.
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hi.
I recognize that voice.
Yes, you do. I have a different question today to
Okay.
put things up a bit for us. This is Susie.
Yeah.
And my question is, I've not been at work because I was doing a healing practice.
Right.
And I took a bit of a break, and basically I'm just about to start heading back part-time. And I noticed, like today I sat and talked with a friend from work, and it was lovely. But I've noticed this energy, very strong energy to do with my work. It's like, wow, I can really feel this intensity. It's a big company. And I can feel this intense energy, and it's just interesting. And I thought it would be really interesting to look at it because it's hard to own my space with this energy because it's strong.
And what type?
And also, I'm looking at, one more thing is I'm noticing that I'm also concerned how it would affect my chakras and my health because I'm working on my health, right?
Yeah.
And wellness. So I thought it was I'm just very interested to see what you notice because it's very interesting.
What type of organization is it?
I can't say the name of it, but it's a big chain. It's a huge chain. It's all over the United States and Canada.
Right.
So it's a big company, and I've been working for them for almost 10 years.
And it's a retail environment, then obviously. No?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Well, I'll take a look at
Very interesting.
I'll take a look at
Thank you.
Your work environment and
how it, because I'm concerned about how it could affect my health because I have a feeling it has. In some ways, but also it's just very interesting, this energy that I'm feeling.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just take a look at you and the energy of the workplace. I'm just going to turn one of the microphones down because I can hear a clicking noise coming from the other side of the room. Okay, so now I'll tune into you. Okay, so let's see. I'm looking at you, Susie, and I'm looking at your work environment. And the first impression I get is the word that comes up is impersonal. It's just impersonal. It's impersonal to its employees, and it just looks like, one of those big corporations that operates like a big corporation and doesn't necessarily have the employees are not necessarily seen as individuals. Let's put it that way. So that's the first thing that I get about it. And I do see a kind of if I look at you and I look at this company, I do see a kind of a blocking energy.
Coming from them, right?
Yeah, coming from them. And I'm just...
I noticed that too.
Yeah, it's a blocking energy, but let's see if I can see any more information about what that blocking energy has to do with. Oh, it's interesting because if I sort of move you energetically into the energy of the company, it gets a lot more intense.
Yeah.
It gets
There's something going on there.
Really, and it's like an attacking kind of energy then.
It is. It's been going on for quite a few years, and it's not that I don't take it personally. I know there's something going on, but it would be very interesting to see what you see there. I mean, I don't plan to stay there much longer because I think it's really really toxic.
Okay, so I'm going to read the company on its own without you, and then I'll look at you and the company. So let's just read the organization on its own first. Well, it's not a pleasant energy. There's no connection with source at all. So it's totally a physical focus, and it looks like it's eating itself. It looks like it's almost like it's got a disease, and it's consuming itself through its own. So let me tell you, and the thing is, this I almost wanted to call it like it's almost like cancer, and it feels like let's see, it feels like whatever's going on, it's not just going on in the location that you're at, it's going on in multiple locations, and that it looks like it's a management thing, and that the people who head up the different countries, locations, regions have some pressure, some kind of burden, something that is affecting them to behave in a certain way, to deal in a certain way, that they themselves are not, it looks like a lot of them are not comfortable with the way that they have to work.
Yeah.
And so they feel really uncomfortable and unhappy themselves. But again, it's like, yes, to keep their job and their position, they don't see what else they can do but to comply. And so there's a lot of people like that. And then there are other people who, as there always are in corporations, who play the game for their own interest. But it just looks like it. Let me see if I can get more information about it.
It's interesting. It's all very true what you're saying.
Is it many different types of products, or is it so specialized in a certain type of product?
Oh, it's a lot of different things. It's largely food and things that you would ingest.
Okay.
Like, nourishing food, yeah.
Okay.
And also just things you would buy for daily use.
So I think there's some hypocrisy, and I think that there's a clash between the image of this company and who they say they are and what they say they sell. To the pressures to make profits, and so it sort of looks, it just looks like that the outward message is different than the inner reality, and that there's a pressure to make profits, and there's it's there's a push and pull going on between the suppliers of the company as well. In terms of, buying products for as cheaply as you can get it, and putting pressure on people because they have the power of a big order to really cut it down. And so I'm seeing that it's sort of like dog eat dog in a way, and it looks like, you know, the people who deal with purchasing things are don't always enjoy what they're doing, and the people they're purchasing it from feel, some of them anyway, feel unhappy about what's going on, and so it just looks like that there's a sort of a controlling faction that's just got the fiscal, purely physical concept about the business. And it feels to me like whoever founded the business founded it out of a more altruistic concept.
Yeah, that's right.
But that as the company has grown, then the power is delegated amongst a different group of people than originally, and you know, they come with their own, you know, business ideas about how to run a business. And so I'm seeing that though this company was founded with the idea of I don't know, ethics and all of that, it's not operating in congruence with its ideals. And so it's living a lie to some degree. And it looks like sometimes that gets noticed by the consumers even. And so it looks like sometimes the customer service department is dealing with you know, stuff like that. And it looks like
I feel that the area that I'm healing, when I think of the company and I think of being there, there's a twinge in the area that I'm healing. Like I feel that there's something about the energy of the place that's actually causing my body to be very unhappy. Like it's just really interesting. And when you say the attack thing, I totally feel that, and I've felt it for years, and it's strange to me that there would be that attack energy, but there is an attack energy there, and I'm not planning to stay, but I find it's just helpful to have you look at it because it helps me trust what I'm seeing too.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, so I said I was going to look at then you in the company specifically, and well, yeah, I do see it. I do see a kind of attack energy. I see it. I know you're sort of talking about a specific area of your physical body, but I'm also seeing at the crown chakra, and it's a controlling energy. It's a keeping people under control energy, and keep the troublemakers under control. So I don't know whether
I'm not actually a troublemaker, but they, for some strange reason, like I have no interest in causing trouble. It's not even on my mind, but they've created a story about me that isn't even true. Like I think that's actually part of what it is. I think it's almost like they have to keep believing in their story now, because if they don't, then they've done something wrong, because that would be considered harassment.
Right. And are we talking about the HR department or your management now?
There's been it started with a manager that just didn't, you know how some people just have intimidation, or I think she was intimidated by my experience or something, and because she was a manager, but she actually had less experience than me, and I didn't want to be a manager. I have no interest in it, but she just made it her mission to attack me, and so she, without getting into a long story, she created a story about me. Do you know what I mean? That was a lie. Like she would outwardly lie, and she would literally write it all down and say this is what she did, and I didn't do that, but she would twist everything around. And so then it would go from manager to manager, and long story short, they keep addressing me as though I'm this troublemaker, when in fact it's just her. Like she's known for being quite extreme. Like she's kind of a bit off balance a bit.
Right.
And it's a long story. So now they've got this story, and I feel like they've probably holding on to the story, because if it was actually proven that it wasn't even a true story, because it isn't, largely, they would be liable for harassment. I think that's why they're doing it.
Right. Well, and I think that, so let's see.
Not that I'm going to do anything about it, but I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, it does look like it started because it hit some of her unworthiness about herself, right?
Yeah.
That's where it started. Like, she thought she needed to do that in order to, I don't know, fill the britches of the manager role and feel like she was in charge. But it looks like it has created its own myth, and that that the story is believed, and people just buy into a story. It's like how rumors spread. Yeah. And then
what happened was a lot of these managers are insecure, and so then they feed off of it and they create another. I could go on and on, but there's been some really clear, like, they literally will fabricate situations that absolutely make no sense at all. But anyway, I don't want to rattle on too much on it, but it's like a very intense. But I'm not planning to stay there much longer. I'm really glad you were able to see that, because it does look unpleasant for you, quite unpleasant, and it's quite a strong attack. It is.
Yes.
Yeah, because I really do think that they're now afraid, because I think if they see me operating on a daily basis, if anyone sees me, you can see that I'm not the person they think. Like, if you literally see me in action, it's completely different than the person they've got me on paper as. It's a completely different persona. So I think they must be realizing that they've done something wrong.
I don't know that they necessarily are. I think that they're seeing you through the story and the label that they've given you.
Yeah, that could be too. It's really funny. Okay, and then the other thing is that I'm just thinking about changing jobs. So I personally think that's going to be full of light. So I'm just looking at that going, yes, okay, that's the change I should make.
Yeah, it looks much better for you to do that. Yeah.
I know, it's kind of insane how people can create a story. It's amazing, because it really, people who know me in my workplace, who actually work with me, or people who are people who come to me for, at the workplace as who need my assistance, I've had oodles and oodles and oodles and oodles of positive feedback. Like, people love me. And yet, I think that's exactly why this started, because that girl was very intimidated, and she just wanted me to be gone, basically.
Yeah, or subservient. Anyway, Susie, we're going to go to a break now, because it's that time. But thank you so much for calling.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hello everyone, we are back on the air at Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie. We've got time for one or two more questions. If you want to call us and get the last question tonight, then 604-504-7441 extension 4142 is the number. 604-504-7441 extension 4142.
But do it quickly.
Very, very fast.
Okay. I have one from, I like this one. And this one is from, did you do Leon? No.
Leon.
I can't remember if we did a question as I went out the door.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So this is from, looks like Leon. And Leon, this is in all capital letters. And it's, I feel for him. And Leon says, how to end the voices that have been mischievously terrorizing me.
Okay. All right, Leon, thank you very much for writing in with that question. How to end the voices that have been mischievously terrorizing you. Let's take a look. Oh, yes, I can see that that's quite frustrating, isn't it? So there's a couple of things that I want to say to this, but I cannot. So let me see. Number one, the voices that are terrorizing you. There actually looks like there's a past life link with these voices. That's the first thing I picked up on. That this is a group of beings that you've had our incarnations with in the past, and worked with. And being in alignment with in the past, but now it's sort of like, it's like, when you want to get out of a gang and the gang doesn't want to let you go, that kind of idea. And so that's a little bit of information about who the voices are. And so how to stop them terrorizing you. And the other thing I should also explain is that, so what, it looks like these voices are out-of-body beings. And just for the listeners, that they're communicating with Leon through a spiritual sense called clairaudience. And looks like other ways as well. But just generally trying to overwhelm you and knock you off your game, Leon. And so how do you stop the voices terrorizing you? There's lots of things that you can do, and I'm just going to give you 2 tips. And the first tip is grounding. So get yourself grounded so you can own your own space. Check back in the podcasts on my website, drlesliephillips.com, and look for a podcast on grounding so you can listen to what grounding is. But own your space, so get grounded and release the foreign energy down your grounding. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is, so a lot of people, when their clairaudience opens up, they don't know that they can control it. They don't know that they can decide whether they listen or whether they don't listen. But you can decide to listen or not to listen, and you can decide what channel to tune into, who to listen to. And so, for example, a very simple technique is to just imagine that you have an on-off switch for your clairaudience, and switch the off switch when you don't want to listen. Another trick is to have an imaginary dial, like on the radio, and when you turn the dial, it tunes into different channels. And so if you don't want to listen to the terrorizing voices, then just change the dial and listen instead to the angelic choirs or something that is more to your liking. And so tip number 2 is how to start taking charge of your clairaudience. So you can have the intention of switching it on, switching it off, listening, not listening, and determining who you listen to. And you can, another thing is get angry at these beings. Tell them to leave you alone, and get really, really solidly grounded, so that you can be more in charge of your own energy and feel your own power to not be a victim to this, because you do have the power to overcome this challenge. Let's see if there's anything else that I can see, seeing as it probably isn't time for another question, so let's see what else I can tell you about this. I'm going to give you a healing, and the clairaudience is an aspect of the 5th chakra in the throat, which is the one that is connected with communication. But I'm also seeing that they're attacking you on the crown chakra. There's a bit of a theme going on today in the crown chakra, and I'm going to just give you a hand and see if I can help. And what they're wanting to do is come in between you and source energy, or in between you and God. Okay, so I don't know what your word for God or source or great all it is, but it just looks like that the agreement in the past lives was to serving the self, seeking of power and control over others, and getting people to give away their power. And I'm seeing that you're not in agreement with it anymore, and you're wanting to not operate from those types of beliefs at all, but they are blocking you from your own information. And so, and again, the grounding will help you let go of the foreign energy that's coming at you. And the trick also is not to resist, and which is very hard under such circumstances. But it's easier to let the foreign energy go if you don't resist it. So we're giving you a healing there in the crown chakra, and I can really feel that energy actually shifting. And looks like one of the things that they get in on, one of the beliefs that they get in on is I am bad. So look at your beliefs that you have about your own self-worth or unworthiness and let them go, because you are worthy. You are a part of God. How can you not be worthy? But it looks like that's one of the big ones that they are able to attach to that belief. So here we go. We're at the end of the show. So the lady who just sent an email, we'll have to get to your question next week. And so we'll be back here next Tuesday, which is going to be, I think it'll be the 20th. And so if you've got questions, then send them to info@drlesliephillips.com. If you've got a topic that you'd like us to tackle, also send that to info@drlesliephillips.com. And we look forward to being back here, same time, same place, 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on 101.7 FM.
Thank you for joining us. You've been listening to another Unlocking Your Truth podcast by Dr. Leslie Phillips. For more information, go to our website at drlesleyphillips.com. That's drlesliephillips.com, where you can ask questions or send her an email, and there's many free gifts on there for you as well. Come back again.